As Sarah's brunch guests fled, their skin stained deep purple, Maya stepped outside smirking. Maybe next time, read the signs. They treated her pool like their personal resort. She let them think they'd won, until they didn't. Maya Sinclair was furious. Standing in her backyard in Atlanta, Georgia, she surveyed the aftermath of yet another unauthorized pool party. Empty beer cans floated lazily on the water. Wet towels were strewn across the deck. Cigarette butts littered the space near her outdoor lounge. The sheer audacity of these people made her blood boil. At 38, Maya owned one of the most enviable homes in the neighborhood. Not because she inherited wealth. Not because she married rich. She had built her real estate empire from the ground up, starting as a janitor at 19, saving every penny, and fighting her way up. Now, she owned 3 successful companies and a house that made people jealous. Very jealous. The first break-in happened on a Friday. Maya had come home early from a business trip and heard laughter. There, in her pool, 5 teenagers were drinking beer and blasting music, completely at ease, as if they owned the place. Out. Now. Her voice sliced through their laughter like a knife. They scrambled, grabbing towels and phones. One kid had the nerve to grin. "Sorry, Miss Sinclair." The door was open. It wasn't. They had jumped the fence. The next day, Maya confronted their parents. "Big mistake." "Oh, come on," one mother scoffed, barely glancing up from her phone. "They're just kids. It's summer. What's the big deal?" Maya's jaw clenched. "The big deal? Your kids broke into my property." "Broke in," one father laughed. "It's just a pool. Stop being so uptight." Maya installed cameras, added better locks, put up warning signs. It didn't matter. The entitlement only got worse. A week later, she caught 3 entire families using her pool. Kids doing cannonballs, parents lounging on her chairs, coolers of beer on her deck. "We thought it was okay," one woman called out, not even bothering to stand. "Jessica from book club said you never use it anyway." Maya's fists clenched. Jessica. That nosy neighbor who had been passive-aggressive ever since Maya moved in, always making snide comments about new money and how the neighborhood was changing. The invasions continued. Every weekend, more strangers, more mess, more audacity. Cigarette butts clogged her pool filter. Beer cans piled up in her bushes. Someone even vomited on her deck. Then came the Instagram posts. Photos of people partying in her pool. Captions like "Best Secret Spot in Atlanta" and "Free Pool Day." Her property had gone viral. Now, people from other neighborhoods were driving over just to trespass. The breaking point? She found an Instagram post advertising a paid pool party on her property. Luxury pool access. $25 per person. Every Saturday. BYOB. DM for address. Maya saw red. She called the police. They took notes. Left. Did nothing. It's a civil matter. Fine. If no one else would stop this, she would. She confronted the so-called party organizer, a smug neighbor named Vanessa. "People want luxury pool access," Vanessa shrugged, counting cash. "You're being selfish, keeping it all to yourself." Selfish. Maya had worked 20 years for this house, this pool, this life. And these people thought they were entitled to it? The next Saturday, Maya counted 47 trespassers in her yard. Music blared. Kids screamed. Adults lounged in her chairs, drinking like it was some resort. Someone had even set up a barbecue on her custom deck. A woman Maya had never seen waved from a lounge chair. "Great party. You should join us." Join them. In her own pool. Maya clenched her jaw. She watched as a teenager threw up in her pool while his mother ignored him, too busy taking selfies. Another group was doing tequila shots on her deck, spilling liquor everywhere. A dog, someone's actual dog, was peeing on her expensive imported plants. That's when Maya snapped. Really snapped. These people thought they could take whatever they wanted. Treat her property like a public park. Fine. She'd let them think they'd won. Let them get comfortable. But Maya had a plan. A plan that would make sure none of these entitled strangers would ever want to set foot in her pool again. Maya Sinclair watched from her security cameras, shaking her head. The way they laughed when she confronted them. The way they acted, like her property, belonged to them. It was time to change the game. First stop, the pool supply store. Maya knew exactly what she needed. The clerk raised an eyebrow at her shopping list. Planning something big? He asked. Maya smiled. You could say that. Next, she stopped at a sign shop. She ordered custom warning signs, big, official-looking, the kind that made lawyers happy and trespassers nervous. But the real genius? Chemical dye packets. Harmless, but highly effective. The kind that turned pool water bright purple when activated. The same trick luxury hotels used to catch people peeing in their pools. That night, Maya got to work. New locks, better cameras, motion sensors, and the warning signs. Pool chemically treated. Unauthorized use may cause severe skin discoloration. Management is not responsible for damaged personal effects. Just for show, she even left some empty chemical containers near the pool equipment. They wouldn't know the difference. The next morning, Maya watched from her window as Jessica, the same neighbor who once charged people to use her pool, walked by. Jessica paused, read the signs, pulled out her phone, and started typing. Within an hour, the neighborhood Facebook group exploded. Maya's lost it. She put some crazy chemicals in her pool. What if it's dangerous? Someone should report her. Can she even do that? Maya just laughed. They weren't mad because she was being unreasonable. They were mad because she finally fought back. That weekend was perfect pool weather. Maya waited. Sure enough, at 2 p.m., the first group arrived, teenagers. They read the signs, looked at the chemical containers, whispered among themselves. Then they left. An hour later, another group, adults this time, dragging coolers and inflatable pool floats, got as far as the gate before spotting the warnings. Not worth it, one woman muttered. Let's just go to the community pool. Victory. But Maya wasn't done. She had one more card to play. The biggest event of the week. Sarah's famous brunch party. Sarah had been the worst offender, acting like Maya's pool was some community amenity. Right on schedule, Sarah led her entire brunch crew, 20 well-dressed guests, straight into Maya's backyard. They ignored the signs, laughed. Oh please, Sarah announced. She's just trying to scare us. Those chemicals are probably just chlorine. Maya watched through her security cameras as they jumped in. She waited exactly 3 minutes. Then she pressed the button. The dye packets burst. Within seconds, the crystal clear water turned a deep, unnatural purple. Screams. People scrambled out of the pool. Too late. Sarah emerged first. Her skin tinted purple. Her expensive white swimsuit ruined. Her friends weren't much better. They looked like grape soda disasters. What did you do? Sarah shrieked. Maya stepped outside, calm as ever. Me? I posted warnings. Very clear ones. You chose to ignore them. This has to be illegal, someone shouted, staring at their stained hands. Maya raised an eyebrow. Illegal? I have you all on camera. Trespassing, breaking and entering. Property damage. Want to talk about illegal? Silence. Maya smirked. Don't worry. The dye wears off in about a week. Maybe next time read the signs. The group fled. A parade of purple-stained trespassers running through the neighborhood. Sarah tried to cover herself with a towel, but the damage was done. Within hours, photos hit social media. #PurplePoolParty went viral, but not in the way they'd hoped. Maya's phone started ringing. Angry parents. Furious neighbors. Even Sarah's husband. You've made your point, he admitted. This is humiliating for them. That was the idea, Maya replied. And here's the best part, that dye? It transfers. It would stain their car seats, their furniture, their bedsheets. For days. Everything they touched would turn purple. Sarah's husband went quiet. You're evil. Maya smiled. No, I'm done being nice. But she wasn't finished. The purple dye? That was just the beginning. Maya had one last surprise. Something that would make sure these entitled people never dared to step foot in her pool again. Maya Sinclair knew the purple pool incident should have been enough. But she also knew entitled people. They'd get mad, wait a few weeks, and then try again. No, she needed something more, something permanent. something that would make them think twice about ever stepping foot in her yard again. So, she went nuclear. First, she installed military-grade motion sensors, the kind that could tell the difference between a squirrel and a person sneaking in. Then she connected them to a special surprise, industrial-strength sprinklers. Not regular sprinklers. These were powerful enough to knock someone off their feet, and the water? Ice cold. But the real genius was what she added to them. A special, non-toxic, military-grade ink. The same kind used in bank die packs. Completely invisible until it hit UV light. Like sunlight. Then it glowed bright neon green. And it didn't wash off for a month. Maya set up everything perfectly. Then she waited. The neighborhood stayed quiet for 2 weeks after the purple pool disaster. Sarah and her brunch crew were still dealing with purple-stained furniture. Jessica had to replace her entire car interior. People crossed the street when they saw Maya coming. Then, one night, her phone buzzed. Motion sensors triggered. Maya checked the cameras. 3 figures sneaking through her yard. She recognized them immediately. Sarah's teenage kids and their friends. Coming for revenge, probably. She let them get halfway to the pool. Then she hit the button. The sprinklers exploded to life. Screams tore through the night as ice-cold water blasted the intruders from every direction. They tried to run, but the sprinklers tracked their movements, soaking them completely. Drenched and panicked, they scrambled away, slipping in the grass, too stunned to realize what had really happened. The real show started the next morning. Sarah's daughter went to school, probably thinking she'd just gotten wet. Then she stepped into the sunlight. Her skin lit up like a glow stick at a rave. Bright neon green. Impossible to miss. Her brother's, too. Every inch of skin the sprinklers had touched was glowing. The school called Sarah immediately. All 3 kids were sent home. Too distracting. By noon, Sarah was pounding on Maya's door, face red with rage. "What did you do to my kids?" she snapped. Maya leaned against the doorframe. "Me? Looks like they had an accident with my new security system. The one I installed after people kept breaking into my property. They're glowing green." "Oh, are they?" Maya raised an eyebrow. "Must be the UV reactive security ink. Don't worry, it only lasts about a month. Unless they go out in the sun too much, then it might be 2 months." Sarah's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "This? You can't." "Can't what?" Maya cut in. "Protect my property? Because I have 3 weeks of security footage showing your kids trespassing. Want to talk about what we can and can't do." Sarah left, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. Word spread fast. Photos of the glowing kids went viral. The Green Ghost Gang, people called them. They had to wear long sleeves and pants in the August heat just to hide the glow. For the next month, the neighborhood was dead quiet. No more parties. No more trespassers. No more entitled attitudes. Maya's security cameras caught people walking past her house, crossing the street to avoid getting too close. Parents pointed at her yard, warning their kids to stay away. And suddenly, the community pool became very popular. One evening, Maya was enjoying her pool, finally alone, when the doorbell rang. It was Jessica. The same Jessica who had tried to run a pool party business from Maya's yard. Jessica shifted awkwardly, avoiding Maya's gaze. "Look, we're having a neighborhood meeting next week about, community pool upgrades. And we thought, would you maybe share some tips about pool maintenance? Since yours is, always so perfect." Maya smiled. Not a nice smile. "Worried about chemicals in the community pool?" Jessica flinched. We thought." "Thought what?" Maya's voice was dangerously calm. "That since I worked hard for something nice, you had a right to it? That my property was public property." Jessica stared at her feet. Maya took a step closer. "Here's a tip. Respect other people's property. And warn your friends." She let her voice drop just enough to make Jessica shiver. "My security system? It's still armed. And I've got some new surprises installed." She didn't actually, but they didn't need to know that. A year later, Maya Sinclair's pool was still her own private paradise. No more trespassers. No more entitled neighbors. No more attitude. Because that's the thing about entitled people. They don't learn from kindness. They don't learn from warnings. They learn from consequences. Maya had tried being nice. She had tried reasoning. She had tried playing by the rules. But sometimes you have to fight entitlement with creativity. And if that meant a few purple-stained trespassers and some glowing teenagers, well, that was just the price of learning respect. Maya lounged by her pool, enjoying the peace she had fought for. For the first time in years, it was truly hers.